Sometimes an upgrade isn't the full upgrade that you expect. Take this planer for example. This has been a fantastic bit of kit that's made my woodworking so much better. But there's one fault that it's got, and this is so common in all entry-level kit, and that is that the dust collection on it is absolutely appalling. You could say it sucks, but not in the right way. But what if there was a way that we could do some DIY witchcraft to help this machine with its dust collection and clean up this dusty old workshop? Now, the first part of creating any sort of solution is to understand what problem you have. And on this machine, it's dead easy. It's the 1-inch dust port on the back. Now, I can assure you that this fires out the chips with plenty of power. What the problem is, the size of the port allows the machine to clog really quickly. Doesn't matter how much dust collection you hook up to this, there's not enough space to evacuate all those chips quickly. And now we know what the problem is, we can come on to a solution, and that's dead simple. Just make a bigger dust port. Whoa! Hold your horses there, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves yet. First of all, I should really tell you what tools you're going to need. And this is the beauty with an adaptation like this, it's so simple. You only need 4 things. You need a heat gun. If you haven't got one of them, borrow your wife's hairdryer. Just don't tell her I sent you. You need some CA glue or any other sort of super glue or quick reacting glue. You're going to need a little bit of pipe that's bigger than what you've already got. Now, I really recommend getting some of the 2-inch wide sort of guttering pipe that you'll find at your big box stores. Lovely and cheap, won't cost you much. On top of that, you're going to need a multi-tool or a little hacksaw or something similar just to cut the pipe and a new entrance hole. Nothing difficult here. So let's get back to making this upgrade. As you saw before, it's simply offering up your pipe, measuring, marking, and then coming back with a multi-tool and cutting it open. Once you've done the bulk of the hogging out, you're going to have to refine it slightly because this will be a rough cut. I simply like to run my multi-tool along the edges, almost using it like a sander, and that does the trick great. What also really helps is you finding a stable surface for you to have your planer on, because mine's on a set of drawers with casters, and half are on carpet and half are leaning over the edge, less than ideal. Now, I have one question for you while you're watching this video. And no, it's not boot that like button, although if you did, it would really make me happy. My question's quite simple. I want you to help me out with a little bit of research. When I'm making these videos, I'm always really interested. Do you watch a video like this and then go off and make your own DIY adaptations? Or are you the sort of person that watches this video, completely disregards it, because you like to just do your own thing anyway, like I do? Let me know in the comments below. The next part's dead simple. You heat up plastic until it becomes flexible. Now, I joked earlier about using your wife's hairdryer, but in all reality it won't get hot enough. So if you don't have a heat gun, use what I did the first time I avoided buying any sort of connection. I used the stovetop in our kitchen, straight onto a naked flame, did it in seconds. Also made a rather large mess that I had to spend an hour cleaning up. But don't worry about that, just buy a cheap heat gun. So after several goes and a bit of trial and error, you'll manage to force this pipe in. Once it's in, hold it tight, let it cool down and set before moving on to the next stage. And if you're half as impatient as I am, you're going to find that jabbing your heat gun right in there is going to warm it up nice and quickly. All you need to do is keep rotating it round so you've got an even distribution of heat. Once again, it's just trial and error, but it will go eventually. So once we're happy that everything's stuck into place, it's time to reinforce that joint, because friction fit alone won't be good enough. What you don't want is lots of air escaping. So to fix this problem, this is where the super glue came in for me, or CA glue, because that's what I've got on hand. I blathered as much of this stuff in as I could, making sure that I covered all the gaps and I had a nice thick layer. I put on a little bit of activator and let the whole thing set, leaving it for 5 minutes so I've got a nice solid joint. And once the glue's set, it's a simple task of redoing at the top what we did at the bottom, heating it up so we can have our adapter fit nice and snug into our new port, so we can suck out all the chips and evacuate that machine so we get a nice crisp clean cut and less dust on the workshop floor. So we're heating the end up. Once we think we've got it hot enough, we're going to take the adapter and we're going to wrestle it into place. This thing didn't want to quit, but after a little bit of brute force and a little bit of heat, we finally got it there. I held it in place for a moment just to let the heat come out of the plastic and for everything to set nicely, and then it was time to just try and even out that bump, make this as smooth as possible so no dust gets stuck in, and we're reducing those snagging points that are really going to cause you the big problems with dust collection. So we're on the home straight now. It's time to screw everything back into place, making sure that we've used all the screws in all the right places, because the last thing you want to do is to have a loose connection anywhere and this thing spinning at 5,000 revs a minute and flicking metal all over your workshop. If yours is anything like mine, it's situated at nuts high, and that's the last thing you want hitting with flying metal. So now that everything's all fastened down and we're as happy as we can be that our nuts are going to be safe to live another day, it's time to move on to the testing phase. Now this is the bit that always worries me, because was that time investment worthwhile? So the final bit now is to make sure that the connection fits and it's all going to hold in place. I've left the sound on full so you can hear all that air whizzing straight through. Beautiful. But what does it perform like? Because that's what we all want to know before we make an upgrade, because we don't want to waste our time. Now there's a funny story here. I spent 2 hours testing this thing out. I put through oak, I put through pallet wood, I put all manner of things through it, and the dust collection was fantastic. Just as I started to film to show you the results yourselves, I've managed to snap a cog on the inside. Now this is completely unrelated to the modification that I've made. It's nowhere near it. This is an old machine that's been on its last legs for a while, but I've managed to break it. Hopefully I'll have it up and running again soon. I'm hoping to put out a quick short so I can show you just how well it is actually working. But there's one thing I forgot to talk to you about on this, and it's really key. It's dust collection. I suppose there's only one way I can talk to you about that really when you think about it.